Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Happy again to meet you in SLA class. From innatist to behaviorist or behaviorist to innatist, we are going to move to the third theory in second language acquisition and second language learning. It is cognitivism. So if you ever heard Bloom's taxonomy, then it is related to cognitivism. So this is part one. So there will be two parts. To make it more understandable, I try to divide this explanation into two parts. Okay, so cognitivism is basically thinking, okay, the way we think in sequential process. Berpikir secara sekuensial, artinya berpikir secara terstruktur. How a person should express an idea, how a person solve the problems in sequential. So if you manage to have misunderstanding in the communication, or you have not really sufficient score in your study, it means that there might be something that you need to resolve in the cognitive process. Because cognitivism is related to how a person think. If we know that cognitivism is related to the way we think, then it is linked shortly to innatism on how language and the brain are interrelated one another. So let's discuss what are the key experiences in cognitivism. How can we say that someone use cognitive skills that they have in the brain? Okay, so I will begin today with a question: why should driving license be given to more than 17 years old person? Kenapa SIM baru dikasih untuk orang yang usianya di atas 17 tahun? Okay, as a sneak peek, it is due to their cognitive development. So 17 years old person should have an a very good, or it has already well built the cognitive development it is. What kind of cognitive development that has been built correctly and precisely in the brain of 17 years old person? First one is the cognitive development on safety riding as preventive action. So if you are more than 17 years old, you should have a good understanding and action on safety riding. And then the second one on strategies as problem-solving action if only there is something bad happen during your riding or your driving. So it means that when you are more than 17 years old, you have a good problem solving on how when you face certain problems or obstacles when you are riding or driving. But then another question raised: why there are still many people, regardless their driving license has already achieved, also have problems in breaking the laws, especially on street sign? What about you guys? Which one are you? Okay, so why are those questions related to cognitivism? So let's begin. I would like to introduce you to a professor. His name is Jean Piaget. From his name, we know that Jean Piaget is not Indonesian, it's French. So, what is actually cognitivism? Cognitivism is related very much on mental or internal factors. So, what happened in the brain, okay? Cognitivism emphasizes on what happened in the brain. Piaget said it's a mental, as contrasted with environmental or external factors. So cognitivism try to marry to marry innatist and behaviorist. Okay, so it is on how the mental process and internal factors are contrasted with the environment. Okay, so right? Here then, what about after mental or internal process, after what happened in the brain are contrasted to what happened outside the brain, means that the environment, what happened after they're married? So there are some key principles or key experiences when you can claim yourself as using cognitivism. The first one is the schema or schemata here. And then the second one is adaptation, which includes assimilation and accommodation. And in the end, you will have the interaction of what you have assimilated to what you have accommodated in the process of attaining new information. So basically, cognitivism is the way you process information. What happened there? First, you must have schemata. The next one, you must have assimilation. The next one, you must have accommodation. And the last one is on how you process all those information into a new concept. When all those processes happen, all those processes happen from birth until death. So this is what is meant by lifelong learning. So don't stop to use your brain. Don't stop to be cognitivist. Alright, so what is actually Schema? Schema is singular and the plural form is schemata. Schemata is this one. Schemata are the cognitive or mental structures by which individuals adapt to and organize their environments. Schemata is not the same with language acquisition device. Language acquisition device is the tools in the brain as we have discussed before UTS. Schemata is the process that happened in LAD. So, when you ever heard a joke like, coba dipakai otaknya itu, it means that in the brain, the schemata is there. But if you do not use your brain, the schemata will not happen. Okay? And schemata is, or schema here, unconscious mental structure. So the structure of thinking that represents an individual's generic or general knowledge. Okay, schemata can be tested. For example, if I ask you a question, do you know Captain Ri? Do you know Kobe Bryant? And then in your brain, there are something happen like, oh yeah, Kobe Bryant is a basketball player. Oh yeah, Kobe Bryant is someone, is a basketball player who were dead by airplane crash in the first year of 2020. Kobe Bryant is a famous basketball player. Kobe Bryant is an African American. That is your schemata. It is very abstract. You cannot touch it. It happened unconsciously in your brain. Okay? So then, the schema, or through schemata, the old knowledge influences new information. So, in your brain, there are a lot of information that you get from anywhere. So that is why cognitivism married innatives and behaviorists. You have all new information from internet, you have new information for your friend, from all the senses that you have, and then it is processed in the LAD, and the product of the process in the LAD is schemata. Okay, I hope it is clear. And then in the schemata, you have new information and then it is processed, okay, in LAD, and you have the product, it's in the schemata. After you have processed the new information in the schemata, you will have assimilation process. Assimilation is when you integrate new perceptual or new concept or new information into existing schemata. So, or patterns or behaviors. So I have example for you. For example, a 2-year-old, a 2-year-old kid encounters a man who is bald on the top of his head and has long frizzy hair growing out from its side. Maybe if this is not 2-year-old or this is you, you will think that it is Joker, okay? But then this kid said that and shouts, "Clown, clown," okay? And then this is the process of assimilation, which means that you have an information and you remember that. And you apply those information to the thing that you see, to the thing that you observe. That is assimilation. You integrate your perception to existing thing or patterns or behaviors that you see. Jadi kayak kalian itu punya pengetahuan, terus ketika ngelihat hal yang ngeling sama pengetahuan kalian, itu kalian jadi langsung, oh iya, yang itu. Oh iya, itu tuh kan yang kayak gini ya. Gitu. That's the assimilation process. When you see some quotes like this one, bald, di tengahnya tuh kepalanya botak, terus ada rambut panjang, long frizzy hair growing, di kiri kanan, warnanya hijau gitu, you will think it's Joker gitu. Tapi kalau untuk anak ini, badut gitu. Nah, jadi tuh assimilation tuh proses ketika kalian sudah tahu sesuatu, informasi, terus kalian melihat hal yang kurang lebih sama, nah kalian mengintegrasikan itu. That is assimilation. The next one, after assimilation process, you have accommodation. It means that you create new schemata as a modification of the old schemata. Misalnya, dalam contoh yang sama, tadi kan the kids looks at a bald top with frizzy hairs in the left and right side. And then it's a clown, okay. And then the daddy tells to the kid that the man is not a clown, even though his hair looks like a clown. The man was not wearing funny costume and wasn't trying to make people laugh, okay? So, maybe it's just bald, but if the man does not wear funny costume and was not trying to make people laugh, so it is not a clown. It might be Joker, okay, or other people who has that style. So the child initially remodifying the new information that he got. At the first, he thought that everyone, do you know that the concept of Control H, Control H in your Windows means that when you copy I is changed into B, so everything is the same. Jadi kayak kalau 1 tambah 1 itu 2, maka itu berlaku kayak semuanya gitu, overgeneralization. Instead, in this world, it is not always the same, right? Especially when it deals with human. So this child has another new concept that about man does not always mean it's a clown, okay? So then it comes to process of intellectual organization, the last process. Then when the child realizes the difference between new and old schema, so it means that the old information was lost, okay? So that she loses the balance of equilibrium because new concept is exist. So it is what happened when you have new information that is totally different from your old perspective. You will lose your balance of our equilibrium for a while. Makanya kadang-kadang kalau ada nasihat yang beda sama apa yang kita dapat waktu kecil, kalian gak akan langsung terima. You will lose your balance for a while. But in the end, you will remodifying sampai akhirnya you have the new concept. Okay. So I've give you example as well. For example, after knowing that past tense are not always by adding suffix ed or d, and you are shocked because there are also irregular past verbs and you need to memorize. That's so awful. So this new concept might make you lost on balance for a while, but you adapt to this concept. A new concept is rebuilt so that the old information is lost and you have a new concept that past tense can contain ed or d, or also not containing ed or d, which mentioned as irregular past verbs. So your job for today is that you need to describe your language learning experiences, which involves the schemata, assimilation, accommodation, and process of intellectual organization in the comment box. Thank you and good luck.